It's Sunday, 10 a.m. I have started a live video here. Got my coffee. Sunday morning. I'm going to take just a second and give folks a minute to hop on if they want to. We are going to talk about the upcoming Pageant Success Workshop that is scheduled for November 27th through the 29th, and we are going to be online together from 8:30 p.m. until 9:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings, and we're going to be working on pageant prep because we love pageant and we want to make sure we're having fun getting ready for our next competition. We want to make sure that we're working on the right things and that we are engaging our time, our resources, and our overall preparation so that it looks the way that you really want it to look and it feels the way that you want it to feel. And how it should not feel is overwhelming, and it should not give you anxiety. It should not leave you feeling frustrated. We want you to feel relaxed, more confident, and ready to show the judges and the audience that you are prepared to be Miss Title Holder when you step on that stage and when you step inside the interview room. So I have a couple of folks getting on here, and I just want to say good morning. Thank you for being here. If you guys do have questions, you are welcome to ask questions. I'd be happy to respond, but I do have some things that have already been sent to me that folks wanted to have answered this morning. So here we go. Let's jump into the first one. So first of all, folks want to know, who are you, Breann, and what authority do you have to be teaching anybody anything about how to get ready for a pageant? So I was Miss Washington in 2001. Like many of the young women who compete in pageant, I did not win Miss Washington the first time I tried. I had to compete in a couple of different local competitions. I competed in a festival program, the Seattle Seafair Scholarship Program for Women, and was the 50th anniversary Miss Seafair, which was a super cool experience, and I believe really helped to prepare me to become Miss Washington. I competed at Miss Washington twice. I won the second time. My local titles that I held in the Miss America system were Miss Lewis County and then Miss Pierce County. Pierce County sent me to Miss Washington the second time, and that was when I won the title of Miss Washington. And then I went on to Miss America. And that was an incredible experience. Katie Harmon is my Miss America, and she's from Oregon, so that was super cool that the girl next door won Miss America my year. And then after Miss America, I thought, well, why don't we try something else? Why don't we keep this pageant thing going for a minute? And so I did. I went over and competed in the USA system and won Miss Washington USA, and then went on to Miss USA. So I had 4 years of pageant competition under my belt. And then when I finished competing, the top interview coach in the country at that time was a man by the name of Don Baker. And if you mention Don's name around the pageant community, you'll get, some nods and smiles and, oh wow, Don Baker. Don Baker coached me in interview. I met him first when I was Miss Pierce County, and he approached me when I finished competing and asked if I would be one of the women, a handful of women. He selected 3 of us from across the country that he wanted to have contracted to teach his material. And he primarily taught communications and extemporaneous speaking, interpersonal skills, and he was the best at interview coaching because he broke it down in such a way that it made it simple. He made it easy to understand. It wasn't about cramming and trying to know every last piece of information, which just creates incredible pressure and anxiety. And he had great tools that he equipped us with. And so after I finished competing in 2004, I started pageant coaching. And I used Don's material and was contracted with him to teach his material. And so I did that for a few years. And then Peggy Miller asked me if I wanted to get coffee with her one day, and she had a request to make of me. She wanted to know if I would like to step into leadership with the Miss Washington organization and invited me to take on the Miss Washington's Outstanding Teen Pageant. And so I directed the teen pageant for, 4 years. And my teen title holders were Victoria Knight, then Raina Ullman, and Victoria Renard after Raina, and then Victoria's sister, Nicole Renard. And so those were my 4 title holders during my tenure as director of Miss Washington's Outstanding Teen Program. So I've had experience not only being a contestant, I've had experience coaching contestants, and I've had experience being a director of contestants. And I love what the organizations who prepare pageant women, especially organizations where the title holder has job duties associated with what it is that she's doing, and she has a year of service. Those are my favorite programs because they're such a journey that we get to go on in terms of personal growth and development. And that, to me, is the most valuable piece of pageantry, because it's not about winning a title. It's not about having another crown to put on a shelf. It's really about what's different about me when I come out the other side of this experience. And I think for those of you who've been through this before, you can attest to the fact that it changes you. It grows you, sometimes painfully. It humbles you, and it helps you really grow in your character. And so that's why I love pageantry, and why I love being a coach and a resource for pageant women. So a couple of other questions I'll just jump on here and share. So first of all, if you're wondering about the cost for participating in the workshop, it's $97 to enroll, and the link is available in my bio, or I can send it to you directly if you'd like to send me a message. I do have some gals who are asking about, what are we going to be talking about during the 3 evenings? And so let's just jump into that real quick. So first of all, we are going to be talking about interview, on-stage question, and overall communication skills. So we'll also be breaking down how to talk about platform, or community service initiative, or whatever they're calling it today, right? We keep changing the name, but if you have a service or volunteerism or philanthropy that your organization requires you to be a part of, or requires you to talk about during the course of your year, whether it's your choice or whether it's a philanthropy that your organization assigns to you, it's important that you be able to speak about it in a way that makes sense to other people. And it's also important that you have a call to action, right? When you're volunteering and you are advocating on behalf of a cause, we want other people to come alongside us and be as excited and as passionate about it as we are, so that we can all work together to make a difference. And sometimes it's hard to break that down in a way that people can track and follow. And it's because we get overwhelmed maybe by the passion of it, or we get stuck in the details of it, like the facts of it. And so maybe we lose some of the emotion and the passion as we talk about it. So we'll be talking about how to address your community service or your philanthropy, and share that with other people in a way that makes sense to them, and also activates them with a call to action in a very genuine and authentic way. And we'll set it up in such a way that you'll be able to speak about it, whether you're asked about it in an interview, on-stage question, or if you're going to an event where you're going to be speaking specifically about your advocacy. We'll also be talking about answering those challenging questions inside the interview room, and through the Dawn Baker curriculum, I'm going to be teaching you a very straightforward, very simple strategy for how to respond to any topic, any question that comes up inside the interview room. Obviously, we need to be well read as Miss Title Holder. Obviously, we need to be well spoken. Obviously, we need to have done some legwork in terms of being up on current events, knowing what's going on in the world, and have some comfort in speaking our opinion on those things, speaking our mind clearly and concisely. And so we'll be working on how to organize our thoughts and react to a question in such a way that you're not rambling, that you've actually answered the question. How many times have we watched a pageant and we've seen a young woman up there on stage and the MC will ask a question and she doesn't answer it? And why is that? Why does that happen, right? We get distracted, we get overwhelmed, we only hear part of the question, we start thinking about what we should be saying, and we start rambling, right? Things get lengthy and long-winded, and we're like, wow, why am I still talking? And so we'll address how to shorten up those answers, tighten up that content and that thought organization, so that your interview will move quickly. I mean, the Miss America organization has said they want the Miss America competition this year in interview to feel like rapid fire White House press secretary type of interview. And boy, that moves fast. I mean, my Miss Washington interview was that way. And the judges were tripping over themselves, interrupting each other to ask questions, because at that time we had 10 minutes. As some of you know, teens have been shortened down to 5 minutes in the Miss America organization, and Miss has been dropped back to 8 minutes. That's a very brief period of time to get to know someone. And we need to go into the interview room and be ready to share authentically and rapidly with tight thought organization. And we need to demonstrate that we can be concise so that the judges have ample opportunity to ask us many questions, many as they possibly can in that very brief 8 minutes. And we're talking about the things that we want them to know about us, right? The things that make you uniquely you and that you plan to bring to the job of Miss Title Holder. So that's specific to the America system. But obviously we can talk about Miss USA if that's your system, or some of the other programs that are out there. Obviously, the granddaddy of grandmama, I should say, of pageantry is the Miss America organization, and I do have a bit of a soft spot for the old girl. How's your coffee? How do you take yours? I like mine with cinnamon on top. It's delicious. A friend taught me that trick a few years ago, and whoo, it's so good. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? I've got some other questions. Oh, we're talking about what else we're going to talk about. So I got stuck on interview because obviously that's the foundation of what we do is, as title holders, is we communicate, right? We need to be able to speak off the cuff. We need to be engaging. We need to have excellent interpersonal skills, be able to make that individual that you're speaking to feel like they're the only one in the room. Have excellent listening skills. And so the first night, we're going to hit on communication skills right off the bat. Second night, we are going to be working on presence. Presence. So last night, I took some time to watch the preliminary competitions for Miss Universe. So I would say take a look if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. I watched swimsuit and I watched through evening gown last night with my finger on the fast forward button, because that's a lot of women to watch in preliminary competition. But what I will say is that you can see the ones that are just naturally magnetic. They just have something. And then you can see others that come on stage and they just don't have that same sort of it quality. And so we are going to break down what is presence, how do you get it, and what kind of a difference it can actually make for you in the competition. Just putting a plastic smile on our faces and trying to look robotic, and somehow the smile doesn't quite reach the eyes, and it just doesn't feel natural. And what we want for you is we want your natural spontaneity, your natural magnetism, your natural warmth to come across even when you're not speaking. We want it to radiate off of you so that when you walk into a room, people are like, whoa. When you step out on the stage, the judges are like, oh, there she is. And there's just something, there's a quality about you. And so that's presence, right? We're going to talk about what that presence is. Now, presence is actually built off of your communication skills, which is why we're doing communication the first night, presence the second night, because presence is actually the ability to communicate non-verbally. And so what is the messaging that we are offering others when we step into the room? And we want to talk about that and break that down. So that's night 2. All right, moving on. Night number 3 is going to be mindset. So when we go into pageant, we want to make sure that we have the right mindset, because it gets high pressure sometimes. It gets intense. Things change during the course of your competition time. Things come up that are unexpected. And so I just think it's really important that obviously we go in with a really focused mindset, but we are also ready and prepared to be Miss Title Holder. And so we're relaxed and we can have some fun with it now. We can enjoy the experience. We're gracious to the volunteers. But still we have that commanding presence. We're there to compete, and we're ready to do the job because we've done all of our preparation the right way. And now it's just about getting out there and enjoying the experience. So getting our mind in the right place, getting our focus in the right place, being intentional about what it is that we're preparing to bring to the stage, and then how to handle stuff when things go sideways. When, your earring falls off. when you hate the way your makeup turned out. Little things that negatives that come up during the course of the competition. There's just stuff that's going to happen that we can't avoid. And how do we handle that so that it doesn't compromise our presence and it doesn't compromise our ability to communicate how we will do the job as Miss Title Holder if we are selected by the panel of judges. So, all right, I'm going to pause for just a minute and go to my notes here. So that's the 3 nights. That's what we're planning on doing. Also, because I like to have fun and because we compete in competition so we can win something, we are going to have some prizes and we're going to have some bonuses. So I'm going to keep those a secret, but that will be available as well during our 3 nights. There's going to be a giveaway each evening at the end, and then some additional bonuses as well that I'm not going to tell you about that are just going to be included because I love you all and I want to really have a great time together on our 3 evenings. So I'm going to give you some extras, just some little freebies for me. So, okay, let's see what else here. So we've talked about who am I, and we've talked about what the workshop is going to be about. And let's see, and how, I guess, how I teach. So, there's a few different ways, I think, to teach and to train for pageantry. And I think, there's kind of a, how do I say this? There can be kind of a negative vibe around the idea of being a pageant coach. And so I guess I would rather let you ladies know that I'm more interested in being a resource to you for pageantry and for your preparation. Anything that we do together is me sharing information with you. And then you have the freedom to apply what it is that I've shared with you or not, because it's your journey and it's your preparation. And any success that you have as a result of participating in pageant competition is a direct result of your hard work and your effort and your application of some of the techniques and tips and strategies that you have learned going through this journey. It's not me. It's not me. It's you. And so I am here for you. And you'll hear me say that over and over and over again. I'm here for you. It's not me up there anymore. It's you. And so I'm just here to provide resources, support, and good information that will help you relax and enjoy your experience all the more and take the most out of your pageant journey. Because really, the judges are going to select one winner. Okay, Miss Universe last night, 92 women down to 1. And what was it about her? Well, gosh, what was it about all of them? I mean, this is elite competition. How in the world do they select just one? And really the truth of the matter is, we prepare to be Miss Title Holder because we know we can do the job. And so we prepare with that intention. Now, if for some reason the judges don't select us, that doesn't mean that we're not still her, because we've already prepared to be her. And before we ever stepped into the competition, we knew we were ready to be her. And so we look at that. I'm Miss America. I'm Miss America every day. Just ask me. Because I prepared to do the job of Miss America. And even though I didn't step into those shoes and I didn't take on that responsibility for the year, I know I'm capable, and I knew I was capable then as well. And so that's what we do in terms of your preparation, is we prepare you to do the job of Miss Title Holder, and we do it based off of your unique skills and your unique ability, and we relieve as much pressure as possible so that you are prepared the day you set foot at check-in for competition, so that you can relax and enjoy the experience. Because truly it's the experience and the networking and all of the people that you will meet, the volunteers that you will bless, all of those things are important, so important to getting the most out of the pageant journey, because the pageant is just the vehicle to get you from point A to point B. And I'm still using all of the skills that I learned in pageantry. It was a wonderful vehicle for life preparation for me. And many of you know, some of you are in your 20s and graduated from school, and you're in your careers, and you've already found reasons to use the skills that you gained through pageant competition, and you are Miss Title Holder. You've prepared to be her, but you've also prepared to be more than her, and you get to do that every day. So let's see, are there any other questions? And you guys jump on here. If you've got some questions, jump in. Let me know what you'd like me to answer. I've got a couple of waves here. I see those. That's awesome. Thank you. And let's see. I'm going through my notes. A couple of folks. Okay. So, all right. One of the questions was, will we be talking about onstage question during the workshop? And the answer is yes. We will be talking about onstage question, and specifically we'll be talking about how to keep your answer within the 20 to 30 seconds that you need to, not rambling, answering the question directly head on, making sure that your thought organization is tight and that your content is meaningful, and that you're able to react and have a conversation with both the MC and the audience, and that you're communicating with your presence that you're prepared to do the job of Miss Title Holder. So yes, we will be talking about onstage question. Keep going here through the notes. Let's see. Okay, here's just another question about, like, how do we know you're credible? Okay, so I have a fun fact that if you don't already know this, which some people may, but did you know that I'm the reason that Mike and Peggy Miller are the directors of the Miss Washington organization? Mike Miller actually was part of a community service organization in Tacoma that would sponsor a contestant every year for Miss Pierce County. And I was that girl. And so Mike was at the Miss Pierce County pageant when I won. Peggy wasn't there. She was at another event, and he called Peggy and told her, hey, the gal that the Exchange Club sponsored for Miss Pierce County just won Miss Pierce County. I think we get to go to Miss Washington. And so Peggy and Mike show up at Miss Washington and sponsor me at through that experience, and I won. And then they were like, I think we're going to Miss America. And so it was a result of Mike being involved in that community service group and their support of the Miss Pierce County organization that actually got the Millers involved. So I actually preceded the Millers in pageantry. Because I had already been to Miss Washington once before, and I'd already had a local title. So yeah, that was cool. Another thing, this is another fun fact. I earned $36,000 in scholarships competing in pageant over the course of 4 years. So I can tell you that not winning every time actually benefited me more, because I was able to go back and learn more about myself. But I also had available to me all of the different scholarship opportunities. And you know, in the Miss America organization, there are lots of scholarships available, lots of different things that you can do to earn scholarship. When I competed in the Miss USA system, they had more cash prizes, and that's what you'll find there. And I won Miss Congeniality at Miss USA, and that was a $3,000 cash award. So just some fun things there about, you know, even if you don't win the title, there's still opportunities to win money. And that's one of the things that I also really appreciate about pageantry. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what is one specific promise that you can make me that will be uniquely different to what I already know about pageant preparation? I can tell you how to answer any interview question with ease. Any question. The hard ones, the challenging ones, the difficult ones, the ones that you didn't study for. And you will sound like an authority. There will never again be a time where you have to go, oh, I don't really know a lot about that, in an apologetic, like, I didn't study for that kind of way. I can make you that promise. If you if you want to come to the workshop, we're talking about it on night 1. So I can make you that promise. And it's a simple technique, and it's so simple that sometimes it's difficult to discipline yourself to do it, because you want to kind of do what your brain would tell you to do otherwise to make it harder. But I promise, it's a simple technique, and if you employ it, you will be unstoppable when it comes to your communication skills. So that's one promise that I can make. Let's see here. All right, what is the value of what is being offered? Well, I guess you ladies would have to answer that question for yourselves. People who know me will say things like, oh, Breann, you're such an excellent communicator. I really admire the way you speak. Oh, you're so fun when I hear you, get up in front of an audience and speak, and you're so engaging and you're so warm. And, so I guess if those are things that you want for yourself, like, it's always good to work with someone who's, kind of already doing things that maybe you would like to apply for yourself, or again, I'm not trying to help a title holder achieve a certain look. There's not going to be any cookie cutters of contestants if you work with me. I could have the entire 2024 class of Miss Washington contestants for the Miss Washington Scholarship Organization all work with me, and they would still all be uniquely different. Because what we're doing here is we're not trying to turn you into an image of of what you think, or what I think a title holder should look like. We're turning you into Miss Title Holder. And so each of you brings your own unique flavor and flair to what that job is going to look like this year. You're going to have your own business plan. You're going to have your own approach. You're going to have your own way of doing and being. And the wonderful thing about the leadership under the Millers is they'll let you. They'll let you. And they'll support that. And in some instances, that's rare. So that, again, why I love the Miss Washington organization. Okay, let's see. My style, so that's my style, I guess I would say. My teaching style is, it's all about you. I'm here as a resource, and it's all about you. And we're here to make you the best you that you can bring to the competition. I've already spoken about my experience. The cost for this workshop, it's $97 to enroll. And the link is in my bio. And what kind of results can you expect? Okay, so even if you sat with me for 3 hours and you only took one thing away, would it be worth it? And it changed the way that you prepared for competition. Would it be worth it? One thing, right? One thing about presence, or one thing about your mindset, or one thing about your communication skills. Whether it's your onstage communication, interview communication, making appearances communication, one thing, would it be worth it? I won't ever promise, oh, you're gonna win if you do this thing. No, because pageant is subjective and the judges are subjective, and ultimately we don't want 5 or 7 individuals to be responsible for how we feel about ourselves and what we believe about ourselves. And we may bring something to the stage that doesn't resonate with those 5 individuals on that night, but you were still you, and you brought the best of you to the stage. And if that didn't resonate with them on that night, different panel, different winner. You'll hear that in pageantry because it's true. It's true. It doesn't mean that because you got first runner-up or second runner-up, or you didn't make the top 10, that you weren't prepared. It doesn't mean that you didn't do a great job. It didn't mean that you didn't bring your absolute best to the stage. It means that for whatever reason, it didn't resonate with the judges. And so what I teach is, how do we acquire the consistencies that we see in winners? What is consistent about her that draws a judge to her? What are those consistencies that we can create in you so that you draw the judges to you? And you know what? There's lots of different reasons to compete in pageant, and it's not necessarily, not every woman says, I want to compete in a pageant because I want to win the title or because I want to have a year of service. Some women say, I want to compete in a pageant because I want the experience. I want to develop the speaking skills. I want to learn how to style myself. I want the makeup lessons. I want to celebrate being a woman. There are lots of reasons that women choose to compete in pageant. Some women find competing in pageant very healing, just an experience to go through and really put themselves out there and be affirmed in that effort. And so it can be a very healing experience to put yourself up on stage and go through that experience in front of a live audience. It's such a unique thing to be able to be a part of. That's why we love it, right? Okay, and then I'm going to answer just one more question here, and then we are going to wrap it up. Let's see. Okay, so one of the things that I really like is you can be empowered and still humble. You can be authoritative without being aggressive. And that's one of the things that I teach. We can be dominant and still be warm. We can have a commanding presence and still draw people to us with a natural magnetism. We can be professional and still be fun and funny. And so those are just some of the traits that I guess I would say that I like to draw out in the women that I work with. So I hope this has been helpful. I don't want to stay on too long, but if you do have questions, please message me. You're welcome to call, email, or message. I'm available to you. I'd love to have you join me on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's November 27th through the 29th in the evening from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. You don't have to show up done. You can, be in your fuzz pants with your cup of tea and your notepad or whatever device you prefer to take notes on, and we'll just jump into some of this stuff. How we can best prepare. How should we best spend our time on our preparation? What facets our consistencies bring out? Are we bringing out so that we can be Miss Title Holder, so that we can have the judges see us at our very best? And we'll have some fun. We'll have some fun doing it. And then there's going to be some other opportunities and some other prizes and bonuses as we go through our time together next week. So have a happy Thanksgiving, and then jump on with me the following Monday evening, and we'll have a great time together. All right. I look forward to seeing you there.